Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. In the underworld, a reputation is worth more than a starship. It is the currency that buys trust in a galaxy built on lies. Silas Vane has spent a lifetime building his reputation, the man in the black mask, the hunter who never misses, the professional who always brings them back alive. His code is his brand and his brand is his shield. But what happens when the shield becomes a weapon in someone else's hands? It started 3 cycles ago. Reports began to flood the bounty boards of the core systems. High-profile targets were being eliminated with brutal, excessive force. None of them were captured alive. The witnesses all described the same killer, a tall figure in a tattered black hood and a featureless obsidian mask with a glowing blue visor. The hegemony put out a capture order for Silas Vane. His contacts ghosted him. His contracts were cancelled. In the eyes of the galaxy, the hunter had finally snapped and become a butcher. Silas Vane knew he hadn't killed those people. But he also knew that in his line of work, the truth doesn't matter as much as the perception. Someone had stolen his face. Someone was wearing his reputation like a costume to commit atrocities. To clear his name, Vane couldn't just issue a denial. He had to hunt the only target he never expected to track, himself. This is the shadow mirror. Vane didn't track the impostor through hyperspace trails or credit transactions. He tracked the sloppiness. The impostor was loud. He used heavy ordnance where a whisper would do. He left corpses where Vane would have left unconscious bodies. Vane followed the trail of unnecessary violence to the Neon Graveyard, a derelict orbital casino and amusement park drifting in a nebula of ionized gas. Vane parked the Vesper silent running on the underside of the casino's hull. He entered the station through a garbage chute, his boots crunching on the broken glass and discarded betting chips. The station was dark, save for the flickering neon signs that cast long, twitching shadows. He found the impostor waiting for him in the Palace of Mirrors, a massive funhouse maze built from thousands of reflective crystalline panels. "I wondered how long it would take you, Vane," a voice echoed through the maze. It sounded like Vane's voice, synthesized and distorted through a cheap modulator. "Do you like my work? I'm tidying up your legacy. You were always too soft, too focused on the code. The galaxy doesn't respect a code. It respects fear." Vane moved into the maze. Everywhere he looked he saw himself. 1,000 men in black masks and tattered hoods stared back at him. It was disorienting, a psychological assault designed to make him doubt his own reality. "Who are you?" Vane asked, his own voice a low, natural growl inside his helmet. "Does it matter?" The impostor laughed. "I am you but better. I am the Silas Vane who doesn't hesitate." A figure lunged from a mirror to Vane's left. Vane spun, his stun baton raised, but it was just a reflection. The real attack came from the right. The impostor smashed through a crystalline panel, wielding a jagged, brutal vibroblade. He was fast, but his movements were angry, lacking the cold economy of motion that defined the real hunter. They clashed in the center of the maze. It was a chaotic fight. Mirrors shattered around them, sending shards of reflective glass spinning through the air, multiplying the images of the two combatants. It was impossible to tell who was real and who was a reflection. The impostor fought with the fury of someone trying to prove something. He swung the vibroblade wildly, destroying everything in his path. Vane fought defensively. He used the environment, angling his armor to deflect the blade into the mirrors, blinding the impostor with his own reflected violence. "You wear the mask," Vane said, parrying a lethal strike and slamming his shoulder into the impostor's chest. "But you don't know the weight." The impostor stumbled back, cracking another mirror. "The weight is power. And I have taken yours." He charged again, roaring. But Vane had already calculated the trajectory. He didn't meet force with force. He sidestepped, letting the impostor's own momentum carry him forward. The impostor slammed headfirst into a massive, reinforced central mirror. The impact cracked his stolen obsidian mask. The blue visor flickered and died. The impostor fell to his knees, stunned. Vane stood over him. He looked down at the broken reflection of himself. He reached down and ripped the shattered mask off the impostor's face. Beneath it was not a monster but a young, terrified man, a low-level bounty hunter Vane had once rejected for an apprenticeship because he lacked discipline. "Kale," Vane recognized him. "You thought if you looked like me you could be me." Kale looked up, blood running from his nose. "They feared me, Vane. For a week I was the king of the underworld." "They didn't fear you," Vane said coldly. "They feared the work I did for 20 years. You were just wearing my shadow." Vane didn't kill him. That would have been the impostor's way. Instead, Vane stripped him of the suit, the weapons, and the stolen identity. He left Kale in the center of the shattered maze, wearing only his undersuit, surrounded by 1,000 broken reflections of a man he could never be. Vane took the broken mask and crushed it under his boot. He returned to the Vesper and broadcast an encrypted message to the Bounty Guild and the Hegemony. It contained the biometric data of the real killer and the location of the Neon Graveyard. The hunt was over. His name was clear. In the legends of the underworld, they say that Silas Vane is the only man who has ever hunted his own ghost and won. They say that the mask doesn't make the hunter makes the mask. Silas Vane knows the truth. He knows that the hardest person to face is the one in the mirror. But as long as he holds to the code, the reflection will always be his own. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Identity is not a costume, it is a burden. If you enjoyed this psychological duel of mirrors, hit that like button. Comment below. Would you trust someone based on their reputation alone? Subscribe for the final hunt of this arc, the Sun Eater. The Vesper is back in the dark. The hunt continues.